This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Brought to you by Advanced Rehab, Urgent Med 1, Boyd's Transmissions, Golf Cart Wholesale, Alan David Tucker, and by Marshside Grill. And now here's your host, Glynn Academy Insider, Drayton Hogarth.
Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drayton Hogarth on location from Marshside Grill, where we will be each and every week on Sunday nights at 6:30 for the entire season. This segment of the Rocky Hidalgo Show is sponsored by Marshside Grill, Advanced Rehab, Urgent Med 1, Boyd's Transmissions, Golf Cart Wholesale, Alan David Tucker, and by ASP Pools. And now, joining us, the head coach of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Rocky Hidalgo. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Those cheers get bigger each week.
It does. People have bigger hands.
What a game and what a comeback. 24-21, Glynn Academy on top of over the Stockbridge Tigers, a former number one team in the state. Tell us your initial thoughts from the game.
It was really exciting to see our kids. That was just them wanting to win. That's really what it came down to. We didn't play great probably for three quarters, and bus ride probably had a little bit to do with it. Missed a couple field goals and had a touchdown call back on. It could have been a different game really going up there, but at some point in time, guys their backs are pressed to the wall and they just fight their tails off, and that's what they did. And the goal line stance, our kids, you're sitting there and just preach your kids, don't quit, keep playing. We talked to them at halftime, play for 48 minutes, and that's what they did. And it's good to see that they listen, and it's good to see the way they go out and play their tails off.
Right. Yeah, my tenor for today's show was totally different. Heading into the fourth quarter Friday night, was that the biggest turnaround that you've been a part of in a playoff game?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I lost one time where we were up 21-3. The team came back on us, so I don't know. That was a halftime score. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not real big on. I don't really. I remember the ones we lose, to be honest with you, more than the ones we win at the end of the day, which is kind of sad, but it was a lot of fun. It was good to see our kids go out and play their tails off like that.
Yeah. Literally, your backs were against the wall. If the Terrors don't bow up their neck and stop Stockbridge there, tell us. Can you tell us what you said to your team, or was it more of the players leading at that point?
It was they had. I give them a lot of credit. They've got a really good football team. Kevin Whitley does a great job. He's a very good coach. What they do is difficult. They did some things that we had not seen. We had 549 plays on tape of them. And they had not run any midline at all. And they came out and they ran the midline, gave us some problems with a little different play, and our kids kind of had to adjust on the fly. They made a nice call. The long pass to get down there was something they were going in an over formation, and they motioned the back out. And that was a great call, a very well designed play. I actually laughed when they hit it because I get a kick out of it when people get me, and they got us. It was a great call. I don't begrudge guys for being good football coaches. And, and our kids just fought. That's what it comes down. They just fought. And, we kind of settled in. What they do offensively is tough to replicate at practice. It really is. And there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts with that offense. And they did a nice job of kind of knowing how we were going to play veer and coming in and playing some midline. And it took us a half to really adjust to it.
All right. And not only your defense, but your offense really just, like you said, fought and scrapped the whole game. And to drive 99 yards, that really swung the momentum of the game, obviously. Did you get the feeling that your guys had kind of worn out the Stockbridge defense a little bit?
We felt good about moving the football. We had moved the football all game. We drove down, missed 2 field goals, drove down, and had a touchdown call back on an ineligible receiver downfield. That was a really, when you look at it on tape, he gets 3 yards. He's about 2.5 yards and engaged with a defender. You'd like to see in a playoff game that call is going to be called. Now, to me, penalties should be obvious penalties, and that's what frustrates me sometimes with officials is is the ticky-tack calls. And, in a playoff game, a holding call needs to be somebody tackling somebody. I'm fine with no holding calls. Let me hold, let them hold. That's fine. Right. Whatever the calls are, they need to be obvious. If they're not obvious, you should just let them go. Mm-hmm. And that was one that was a really tough call, because that changed the whole complexion of the game. We go in at 14-14 instead of down 14-7. It was a real, and I know that the officials, they're great guys. It was a group that used to officiate us in Atlanta. It's a good, overall they did a really nice job of the game, but it's, you're going to get a call like that in a game. It's unfortunate that happened there, but at the end of the day, it didn't hurt us. It survived and advanced. We moved forward.
Right. This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Just a tremendous effort from Garrison Hurd, running over, around, and through Stockbridge, it seemed like. How big of a performance was that from him Friday night?
Yeah, he's a good player. It's surprising. It's every week we go up there, we play one of those teams, and after the game, some guy who's, a recruiting analyst or somebody comes in. This week it was Joe Wyndon who comes in to me afterward and goes, "Man, your running back's really good." I was like, "I've told you 100 times he's really good." It's kind of, we're in this little pocket of the state down here that's hard, that not a lot of guys come down here and evaluate our kids, and we send stuff out. He's a heck of a football player. He's as good as anybody out there. I'm sure there's some guys who are going to be going up, playing in Alabama and Georgia who are bigger and stronger and all that stuff, but as a high school football player, he's pretty sporty.
Yeah, absolutely. DJ Dallas had another solid game. Was the Stockbridge defense trying to scheme more to him to the edge, and that kind of opened up more running lanes for her?
Well, we felt like kind of what they were doing. We felt like we could run the ball on them. We had heard enough about their defensive line, but evaluating them, we really felt like we could run the ball. What we did is run some gap schemes and get Garrison downhill. Garrison is a hard-nosed physical runner. He does a great job reading the zone. And, he's just a bull when he gets in there. And there's not a lot of guys who really like tackling him. And you notice that in late in games, he just kind of gets rolling. People get tired of hitting him because he's physical. And that was kind of the thing. We felt like, they have good foot speed. They were going to squat the ends on DJ. And, with what we do, those guys, with the end squats, it takes one guy out of the run scheme. So, we go from blocking 6 to blocking 5. Well, we got 5 to block 5. We got a man-on-man with a guy with a football now. So that's really what you try to do with the read scheme. And when that guy jumps in on the inside zone, DJ tucks it and runs. And there are variations off of it. So they were doing a good job of squatting their ends and doing what they were supposed to do. But it took a guy out of the run scheme, and we were able to really grind it in there.
Right. And when Garrison wasn't busting heads or DJ scampering around the outside, Kendall Cross stepped up big time for your offense with 2 big scores. Talk about his game for a minute.
Kendall's a really good player. He really is. He's a heck of a player, on both sides of the football. Mm-hmm. We are very, very fortunate to have 2 guys who run the football like him, and hopefully Jeremiah's knee kind of get healed up, and he'll be back full speed here soon, and we'll add a third to it. But Kendall, he plays with such energy, and he's such a dynamic athlete. Really, he's incredible. He's a lot like Garrison. He's just incredibly strong. He's sudden, and not a lot of guys want to tackle him either.
Right. More to come on the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Marshside Grill is your home for the best burgers, spuds, and seafood around. Come enjoy the view out by the water while taking in an ice-cold beverage. Marshside Grill is your home for the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo and a proud sponsor of Glynn Academy and local high school athletics. So stop in any day or night of the week for the best view and atmosphere here in the Golden Isles. And also, check us out on Facebook. Go Terrors! That back won't stop aching or that knee won't stop throbbing? Your answer is Advanced Rehabilitation and their staff of professionals. Locations in Brunswick and on St. Simons for your convenience. Go to the place that is trusted by student athletes all over the Golden Isles as well as professional athletes. Advanced Rehabilitation specializes in neuro and orthopedics and will have you back in the game in no time. Find a clinic near you, physicaltherapygeorgia.com. Tired of waiting hours to get in and out of the ER or can't get in to see your doctor? The wait is over. Urgent Med 1 is a fully functioning urgent care clinic with highly trained professionals, on-site x-ray and labs that will get you in, out, and on with life. Open weekdays 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and weekends 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or sign in online with Zip Pass. Located off exit 36B on Highway 341, look for that MASH Jeep with the big red cross out front, ERGENT Med 1. Drive a few minutes and save a few hours.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drayton Hogarth on location for Marshside Grill. This segment brought to you by Marshside Grill, Urgent Med 1, Advanced Rehab, and Golf Cart Wholesale. Coach, what a tremendous job by your defense. Just lights out in the second half and the fourth quarter for certain, when there was no room for any letdown. Do you feel like your defense is playing its best ball of the season right now?
You know, I think we've been playing really good football. And Friday was a really tough challenge. I mean, it was a lot like Jones County. Different offenses, skill sets of the players are very similar. I mean, their quarterback was an incredible player. He wasn't a passer, so he could throw it. I mean, he really could throw it well. But I mean, with his feet, their backs, their receivers. I mean, they have some really good players. When you look at who's going to be recruited, who's not going to be recruited, you see those guys. Joe Wyndon was talking to me before about this guy's got an offer from here, this guy's got an offer from here. I mean, they probably got more Division I players running around on the field than our whole region does altogether. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, defensively, I think we played a really good game. I think especially for what those guys did to us in the first half that we hadn't seen. And they did a nice job scheming us up, and our kids adjusted on the fly and really got after it and made the plays when it counted.
Right. Like you said, they bring a strong mix of run and pass. What was your focus of your defense heading into the game, and then what kind of adjustments did you make afterwards?
Well, you gotta take the run against them. If you don't, you're going to get killed. Mm-hmm. Their back and quarterback and their pitch guys are so very good. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to make them execute all three phases of the option. Dive, quarterback, and pitch. Dive, quarterback, and pitch. Well, they came out, and instead of running the veer, they came out and ran midline, which is basically a dive quarterback play, which is a little different. The fits are very different, and it's something we had not seen from them. They did a nice job. I mean, really did a nice job. It took us a while. There was a couple of times the quarterback broke loose. That's really what it was. It was something our kids hadn't seen, and we had to adjust to it on the fly, on the sideline, and eventually we kind of settled down and got it. Once we did that, they went back to the veer. We did better on the veer, and then you saw them put the ball on the ground. That was the whole thing. If we can get them running the veer and make them pitch it, they're going to fumble it, and they fumbled the ball, and it set up a huge opportunity for us.
Right. How did you adjust to that midline offense?
Well, it's the fits are different with the inside backers and the defensive linemen. The dive is a little tighter, so your linemen have to play different, and your linebackers have to scrape for the quarterback, kind of in B gap. So it's just a little different fits the way it all works. So I mean it's a very tough play, and like I said, we hadn't seen them run it, so it's something you usually don't prepare for what you don't see on tape. And so I was glad they don't run. It's a very tough play, and they whipped it out Friday night. So when they started running, I was like, well, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun now.
Right. Yeah. Kudos to you guys for your coaches and your team for making that adjustment. Tell us who was some of your standouts from the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I think when you go through, I think all the way around, our kids played really, really hard. I think our linebackers, having to sort Hunter Hall and Xavier McClinton, what you have to do is, they went from one particular read that they worked on all week long to a totally different one, and they had to sort it out kind of on the fly. And you saw early their fits were a little off, and the quarterback got loose. And as later in the game, they really started to get it, and they tightened all that stuff down and started getting into some third and longs. Mm-hmm. But I think our defensive line played very well. I mean, we're very good on the defensive line, very active. Those guys get down and make plays. I think our outside, I could go across the board. I think Trey Salem had a tough job all night long defending one who's a very good player. He's a major college kid. Quarterback made a really, really nice throw on a fade route where he put it in a place that only the kid could get it. I mean, sometimes a guy makes a throw and the Trey had good coverage on him. The rest of the time he just kind of hung in there. Sean Walthour came over and hit him one time, and he didn't want to catch it anymore after that. So that's usually the easiest way to defend it.
Right. Also, I did see Kendall Frost had mentioned he was upset in the newspaper about a busted coverage earlier in the game. Can you talk about that play a little bit and how he adjusted for it later?
Well, we were using a field coverage. Basically, we roll the safety to the field, pin them to make them run the option in the boundary. And the touchdown he gave up for a slant, he was confused on the coverage. He thought we were running the field coverage, and he was actually manned up on him. So, it happens sometimes. It's just one of those things that, the signals gets crossed up. And so he was actually looking for pitch, and he had the slant. So it was one of those things that, happens over the course of the game. Over the course of the game, you're going to have roughly 200 plays. And if you can limit your mistakes to about 24 mistakes, you got a chance to really win the game.
Right.
As crazy as that sounds, but that's the number you got to get to.
All right. You're listening to the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Special teams ended up being the difference in the game. Banks and Whistle made the game-winning field goal, but also the difference in the field position was evident with their punters and our punters as well. How fortunate are you to have such strong kicking specialists in your program?
Well, I think we do a good job with it overall. It's an emphasis of what we do, and a lot of people just somebody misses a field goal and everybody just boos and yells at the kicker, and that's instinctive to do that. But a lot goes into it: snap, the hold. If the ball's not on the tee, slips off the tee. The first one, the ball kind of slipped off the tee, and he just couldn't get a clean hit on it. And sometimes you just miss. I mean, it just is what it is. And so I kind of went in the last one. Obviously want to score a touchdown, but we kind of got squared up there. I felt good about our kicking game that we were going to get 1 out of 3 that night. I've never seen him miss 3 in a row. So I kind of felt good about it and just kick it as opposed to throw a jump ball in there. But so it is what it is. It worked out for us.
Right. Do you kind of search out kickers in that aspect as a head coach? Kind of go to the soccer fields and see if anybody can kick?
Yeah, soccer, and that's where you get. We've always gotten our kids off the soccer team, and soccer kids they're just different. Your kickers have got to be a little different. If they ran around like linebackers, they wouldn't make any field goals. They kind of have to be a little loopy, and they just got to be different guys. They do. If they were all intense guys, they would. They'd all be suicidal because of the stress they're under. Everybody, the kicker's out there. He might as well be by himself because everybody's watching him and everything he does. So they've got to be some different guys. And soccer guys have that. A lot of them have that right mentality. They just kind of get out there and it's ho-hum a little bit about it, and you need that a little bit from kickers. So they've got to be that way, or the pressure will eat them alive. But we get ours from the soccer team. I kind of go out there, and you never want the best soccer players to be the kickers because those guys are always playing on some elite travel team. And I got to go to this. You want to find that guy who's just good enough to make the team, and he can kick it a long way. That's your kicker. Right. The backup goalie. He's usually a good one.
Kind of have a mentality of a cornerback too, and don't forget the last play.
A little bit.
All right. We will be right back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Need an attorney who specializes in personal injury and criminal law? Alan David Tucker. He fights for the rights of the injured and accused. Located next to the waterfront at 9 St. Andrews Court. Since 1982, Alan David Tucker has been practicing law in the Golden Isles and helped thousands of people just like you solve their legal problems. Give Alan David Tucker a call. Proud supporter of Glynn Academy Athletics, 912-267-7123, and let's go Terrors. Looking to make your life more fun? Then check out GCW Karts. With top-of-the-line karts like Easy Go, Bad Boy, and Cushman, you can cruise the island or just around the neighborhood in style. Need to rent a cart? GCW Rental rents carts for long or short-term use, and they make it easy by delivering your cart to you and picking it up when you're finished. So remember, for brands like Easy Go, Bad Boy, and Cushman, visit GCW Karts in Brunswick at the corner of Cypress Mill Road and the Spur, or call 912-434-4601. You've walked your last mile. Boyd's Transmissions will get you riding with a smile. Boyd's Transmissions is your hometown stop for any and all transmission work and much more. Boyd's Transmission has been locally owned and operated for over 30 years right here in Glynn County. Come check us out at 3123 Norwich, right across from the National Guard Armory, 912-264-6768, or find us on Facebook and go Terrors. It's hot and keeping your pool running is essential right now. ASP is your hometown pool care and maintenance neighbors. Marcus and the professionals at ASP will have your pool looking and running like a dream to help you beat the heat. 912-230-5777 or online at www.stsimonsgapoolservice.com or find ASP on Facebook. ASP is a proud supporter of Glynn Academy Athletics. Let's go Terrors!
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. This is Drayton Hogarth on location from Marshside Grill. This segment is brought to you by Boyd's Transmissions, ASP Pools, and by Alan David Tucker. Coach, this Friday night, right here between the bricks at Glynn County Stadium, Glynn Academy will take on rival Ware County for the right to play for the state championship in the Georgia Dome. What are your initial thoughts on that upcoming game Friday?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. I'm so excited. I love to play. I love to play in big games against when something's on the line. But I have a chance to go and play against a team that's your rival and your neighbor. I had a chance to do this a few years ago at Walton, our biggest rival last year. We played in the semifinals to go for the state championship game. I mean, it was just an incredible atmosphere. The first game that we played, it was a complete bloodbath. It was one of the most physical games I've ever been a part of. It's a great football game. The kids really got after each other. And Friday night, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll have 15,000 people there. It's going to be great for the school systems because we're gonna. I mean, that really is good. I mean, I know people don't think about these things, winning and losing, but man, we make the budget on these things. We on big games like this, it's going to be great for the community because everybody's going to come out, and then you got a chance to go to a state championship game and play one of your big rivals. I mean, this is what if you coach and you play high school ball, this is what you do it for.
Yeah. What are the pros and cons of facing a team that you know so well? Or are there any?
They just go play the ball. Or, everybody's like, well, you got to beat them twice and all that stuff. You got to beat them again. I mean, we don't have to win 2 times Friday night.
Right.
And so the other game's over with, and they're going to go back and look at our tape. We're going to go back and look at the tape and go, we should have done this. We should have done this. I don't worry about that. I look at what they got, how they're playing, what they're doing. And we're going to focus on us, really and truly. What our kids do, what we do well. This game, we're going to be a little different. We had, Zalante Hillary was out, Ryan Johnston was out, Garrison Hurd was out. I mean, that's a big chunk of our offense right there. You throw in Randon Journey, and I mean, offensively, we're a little different looking football team. So, that's one of those things. I like our kids. I think we're playing really good football right now. We've beaten Jones County, who's 9-1, essentially a region champion. We've beaten Dalton as a region champion, Stockbridge as a region champion. Right. I'm not sure anybody's played 3 better teams in the playoffs, and we've done 2 of them on the road. So I like our kids. I think our kids are going to show up ready to play, and and Ware's going to show up ready. They do a great job coaching their kids. They've got a good football game. It's good. If you like linebacker play, they've got 3 great linebackers. They get downhill and tackle really well. As good a group as I've ever seen in high school football. So it's going to be fun. I love the opportunity to go and coach against one of your rivals in a big game like this. Let's go break their heart. That's all right.
You mentioned the tough road that Glynn has had in these playoffs. Is there an advantage, you think, to playing a tougher schedule maybe to kind of ready you for this point? Or
I don't know. I think if you're healthy and your kids are ready to play, sure. If you get banged up and you're too banged up to play, not so much. So our kids, for the most part, we're all healthy. We'll be ready to go. I think, I just think, we've got a good football team, and we've gone on the road and beat some good teams and beat a really good Jones County team, and to get to the state championship game, we're going to have to beat a really good Ware County team. Yeah. I mean, and that is what it is, and I think we're up to the task.
Right. I've seen a lot of trash talking on social media so far. A lot of it coming from the western side, west of us here. Do you tell your kids not to get wrapped up in any of that kind of stuff and save it for Friday, or
it's a waste of time? We talk to our kids all the time. Don't waste time and energy on that. Don't waste time and energy on any of those things, and they will because they're teenagers. But right. It's a bottomless pit. You can pour yourself down it, but you're not going to get any return on it. The only thing you get any return on is focusing on your job, showing up, playing hard, and doing the things you've been coached to do. If you do those things, everything's going to turn out great.
Right. This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. what is your speech to the fans that have done such a great job of showing up to these last 2 road games? What do you want to say to them for coming out Friday, supporting the Terrors?
Everybody. I mean, we had more fans than they did Friday night. Just how appreciative we are. I think as much as winning the games and seeing with our kids, to go and see what it's done to our community and see all the people that have contacted me and are excited about Glynn Academy football. I mean, think about where we were 2 years ago before all this and see where we are now. People are excited about what we can do. People told me that this would never be a football town because there's a beach here and there's Jekyll Island and they're building an outdoor skating rink and all that stuff. Well, 1,000 people drove 7 hours to watch us at Dalton, and we took 4 buses up to Stockbridge, and that's balmy. I think people are seeing what we've done with the program. I mean, I think the outpouring of support that we've gotten from businesses and alumni. I mean, the people who've called, donated, and to the Touchdown Club to help cover expenses, and the people who went out there and cheered the team on and all that stuff. I mean, I think people are investing in our program, and win, lose, or draw, you'll see the dividends in our community. I think you just see the good works that are coming at the school. Our kids are excited about being at Glynn Academy football. You can say whatever you want. Teenagers don't get excited about old buildings. They don't get excited about tradition. They don't get excited about math classes. They get excited about winning football games. That's what they get excited about. And our school is excited about what we do on the football field, and it's been great for our community and great for our kids. And that's why we do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you came to Glynn Academy to play these types of games. Did you feel like you could get it turned around this quickly?
I felt like last year, I liked our kids, and I'll be honest with you, we played 13 games last year, and we weren't real good. I'll be honest with you. I look back at our tapes from last year and go, golly, we weren't real good last year. It's not that our kids didn't play hard, we just weren't real strong. And I mean, there's so many things, and we're not there yet, and we're still not there yet. And that's what people have to understand is that, I mean, we've got so many things against us right now in terms of the weight room and how things are set. We can't put the entire team in the weight room because it's too small right now. So how we have to lift our kids, and it's a testament to our players just kind of overcoming all that stuff and just buying in and playing their tails off. And the fact of the matter is, when we kind of get all these things right, when the new facilities done, we have a chance to build a really, really good football program that can do this every year. That practicing on Thanksgiving Day is this is what we do. Everybody knows that we're going to be playing in the quarterfinals every year, and then I think we can do those things here. I think our kids have bought in. I think our older kids will show our young kids, and it's just a matter of time and continue to build on it.
Right. Speaking of social media, if anybody hasn't seen it, is there any truth to the rumor that you're going to be going out on tour as a lead dancer doing the dab-em dance?
I don't even know what they was. They walked in the locker room, they were asking me to do some stuff. I did it one time, and then people were like, do it again. People kept recording, and I was like, I'm probably going to Photoshop me with my clothes off. I'd be in a G-string doing that stuff. It'd be weird. It'd get me fired when it's all said and done. I don't even know what they were talking about. His kids were screaming at and that's why, look, this is why you do this stuff. Right. Kids get excited. You invest time in those kids. I love our kids. I love our players. I think they feel the same way about me. And, it's fun. It's fun for them. And, I could be an old stick in the mud all the time, but, they wouldn't enjoy that stuff. Nobody wants to play for somebody who's boring all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fantastic. Well, I did speak to Athletic Director Waters, and apparently the tickets for the boosters will be going on sale from 8 to 1 on Tuesday. The reserve seats will be $17. General admission will be $15. And $13 for Glynn Academy students. After Tuesday from 8 to 1, from 1 to 4, or general admission, it'll be available from 1 to 4 on Tuesday, 8 to 4 on Wednesday and Thursday, and then from 9 to 1 on Friday. After that, you'll have to get them at the stadium. And for interest in tickets, give them a call at 267-4100, extension 1301, and they will be glad to help you out getting tickets for that. And everybody needs to be there Friday night.
Let me just intervene here and save Coach Waters some angry phone calls. The state sets the price of the tickets. We didn't set the stock price of the tickets. The state sets the price of the tickets. So before people call and complain about how expensive the tickets are, that Steve Waters has nothing to do with it. So, I mean, it is what it is. The state sets the price of the tickets. But it's going to be worthwhile. It's going to be a great game. There'll be 15,000 people there. And we need to have 10,000 people in red.
Yes, absolutely. Again, that number is 267-4100. Excuse me, 4100, extension 1301 to get those tickets. Well, good luck Friday, Coach. Bring home another victory. Thanks for joining us for the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out to Marshside Grill and join us every Sunday night at 6:30 for the Rocky Hidalgo Show. This is Drayton Hogarth signing off.